Last game, the Enforcers and Quakes battled valiantly for the championship belt, only to have it stolen on the last play of the game by members of the Moral Authority.
Gotta tell you, taking this belt was more fun than I've had in years. Just looking into the eyes of those skaters while my moral thugs beat the sin out of them. It gets me the chills thinking about it.
Instead of condemning the Moral Authority for ambushing skaters and unjustly seizing the belt, Commissioner Logue admittedly played a part in the sordid affair.
I believe that I stated unequivocally that anyone skating in an unsanctioned game did so at their own risk. I also said that the Moral Authority was allowed to assess any penalty they saw fit. I have no pity for anybody involved.
Meanwhile, tonight, the winless Riot will take on a Sundog team that has been veiled in a cloak of suspicion.
The three of you are to consider yourself banned for life from the World Skating League.
Due to Logue spitefully abolishing the team's stars from league play, the overconfident Riot perceives this as an easy notch in the victory column.
I don't care who's on the Sundogs. And my briefcase is just looking to come upside somebody's head.
There ain't a better skater in this league than me. So I don't give a rat's ass who the Sundogs have on their team.
The Riot skate against an unknown Sundog team next on Roller Jam. And the World Skating League. The Illinois Riot. We know them well. But who in the heck will the guys in the gold uniforms be? This evening, the Sundogs take to the track, and that in itself is big news because we don't know who they're going to have on their team.
It's the unknown factor tonight. It is incredible. And also, Roy, an unknown team that has the belt? Are you kidding me? The title on the line tonight.
The reason they are unknown is because the commissioner, Kenneth Logue, pretended he was going to retire the jerseys of Bill Barker, Janet Abraham, and Rusty Montgomery. What he did instead was suspend them for life from the league, brought them down to the track,
consider yourself
and threw them out.
Banned for life from the World Skating League. We are retiring those jerseys because you three are no longer worthy of wearing them. Give me those jerseys. We did what Leonard wanted.
You heard Rusty Montgomery say we did what Leonard wanted, talking about Leonard Logue, but he's no longer around, and Kenneth Logue threw those three skaters out. So the Sundogs, if they don't have those three, will have some new skaters. However, they could have possibly signed a loyalty oath with Logue in return. I wonder if they did that.
Well, maybe that's what they needed to do. I mean, let's face it, those guys deserve to be thrown out of the league. I mean, Barker, what he was doing, and Janet Abraham with the armpit thing, and then Rusty with the crutches. Come on, Roy, you can't back those people up.
Yes, I can. Now, the thieving of the belt, that was a major issue in the game, championship game. The California Quakes put the championship belt on the line, and look at what happened in the last jam of the game. There, the Quakes trying to defend their title against the Enforcers. A group of thugs from out of nowhere comes out, and there is the prophet, who is definitely in Logue's pocket, stealing, I would call it, stealing the belt.
Wrong word there, Roy. They did not steal the belt. Neither one of those teams deserved the belt. That's why the Prophet and Kenneth Logue thought it'd be best in their hands, best for the WSL, and best for the Roller Jam fans.
Yeah, well put. Right. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Now, the Illinois Riot, the Oral Authority, going up against Logue's Moral Authority, and I'll tell you what, they have put some sizzle into the Riot lineup.
Yeah, they have, no doubt about that. I mean, oh my goodness. Those are some good-looking ladies. Like I said, Roy, you know I'm for the Moral Authority, but how can you not like the Oral Authority?
But remember, for every pleasure, there's an edge of pain, as Talisa Miller finds out right there. All right, the Riot ready to skate onto the track. Let's meet them. In the middle with Laura Weintraub and Amy Craig.
They always have those smoking guns there, Rory. And you know what? I think, I might be their biggest fan out there. How can I not? They love me so much.
Oh, sure they do. Here they come around the track, and the rest of the Riot women skating out right now. I like the Oral Authority, too, but,
Come to me, my ladies. Thank you. There you go.
same old lips. Go on. Get out of here. Scat. I got a game to do. Come on.
No, stay a little bit. There we go. That's, oh, my. I'm melting here.
Woo! Mo Sanders. Possibly the greatest jammer in the league. He thinks so. If you ask him, there's no possibly about it. It's definite.
And he's still chasing after Jason McDaniel to try to get a match race after that jammer belt there, Roy.
Ray Robles is going to be tough. And here comes the King. King Richard Brown greeting his subjects. Gee, that's a nice suit he has on.
You know what, Roy? I never had a lot of respect for the guy, but when I found out that there were weenies in his briefcase, I lost all respect now for the King.
You never know what's going to be in the King's briefcase. I think that was a Tim Washington trick the day that happened. Anyway, now we have to wonder about the Florida Sundogs and who will be skating with them, who will not be skating with them. I'm anxious to find out.
I really am, too. I am kind of baffled over this whole situation about who could possibly be on that skating team.
You know who else would like to know? The King himself. He is right now with Broadway Danny Wolf.
All right, thank you, guys. And the big question right now is, who is your opponent supposed to be? It's supposed to be the Sundogs, King.
What difference does it matter? The Sundogs, every time we meet them, we beat them. They're nobodies. And that's my final answer.
Thank you for that. And Denise, I got to ask you, how is the Oral Authority doing tonight?
The Oral Authority is doing quite nicely, Danny. As far as the Sundog women go, they're just out here taking up space, and a lot of it. But that's not to say that Bill Barker, that there's not hope left for him. We have a little oral fixation going on him tonight. And Billy Baby, the Oral Authority will have no problem helping you rise to the occasion.
I wonder if that's like a cake rising. Denise is a pretty good baker, I understand. But hey, look out now, because I have a feeling we're going to see something we don't want to see. Yep.
No, 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 Denise. You and your Oral Authority is just what this league doesn't need. This league needs to get its mind back on skating. This league needs to get its mind out of the gutters. And Denise, I am here to help you. I am here to help every last one of you. But you must rectify your course. Denise, you must be willing to meet me halfway. That's all I ask. Meet me halfway. Denise, we saved Lindsey Francis. Lindsey Francis is once again healthy. Lindsey Francis is once again happy. But this one skater at a time changing, it's a bit too long for me. The process strings out and strings out. So from this point on, the changes will take place one team at a time. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce to you the new and improved and World Skating League champion, Florida Sundogs.
Well, here they come, the Sundogs. And look who's here, Bill Barker.
In body armor now, Rory. Trying to protect himself, I guess.
Well, he was always built pretty well to begin with, but now he'll be even tougher. I'll tell you what, he must have signed that agreement with Kenneth Loger. He wouldn't be here. And Janet Abraham, same thing. I'm surprised to see her here as well.
Now the question is what? Yeah, who is that lady? Look at her, Roy, right there. Woo!
Wow.
Who is number 3 out there?
That's Julie Amazon. According to our roster, they've redone this entire team. Well, just about from top to bottom. Micah Martin, he needs the armor. Sigmund Williams, so they do have a great jammer. Oh, look at these two. That's K9 and Disable.
These guys can skate too? What else do those two guys do, K9 and Disable? Man, those are some athletes.
They're carrying the belt. We'll see how good of skaters they really are. But obviously, this entire team is in Loeb's pocket right now. From the Prophet to K9 and Disable, undoubtedly to Julie Amazon. They're a programmed bunch of zombies, if you ask me. But we'll find out how well they do on skates. Stay with us. We're coming right back with more. Here we are back at Roller Jam Arena, getting ready for the game between the Sundogs and the Riot. And no matter who the Sundogs have signed, it still comes down to a key matchup between Janet Abraham of the Sundogs and Denise Loden of the Illinois Riot on the women's side. Loden was front and center to listen to the Prophet's ridiculous statement, and she'll be that way for the entire game. I don't care what she's wearing, what her lipstick looks like. Believe me, when they blow the whistle, she's tough. And Abraham is back, so obviously she gave in. I think she sold out and signed the agreement with Kenneth Lowe.
What kind of words are those, Roy? She didn't give in. She saw the light, you could say. She has a new lease on life, Janet Abraham. I look for big things from her this game.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what we can look for from the Sundogs. And here we go. The game has started. It's underway. And Loden is going to jam first. She jumps out of that pack first and puts a hit on Belinda Morgan. That frees up Amy Craig to get out there. Amy Craig, the premier women's jammer in the league. One of them anyway. And since the Riot picked her up, they've been a much better team.
We'll see if Lips plays with like she has a chip on her shoulder tonight because of what the Prophet did.
I'd like to know more about Julie Amazon. We don't know anything about her at all. She's big.
Yeah, I mean, where's the bio on this girl? She just appeared out of nowhere.
Janet like a dream, right? Janet Abraham back there to block against Amy Craig. And Abraham was always tough. She was always a good skater without Logue. And now she gets taken down by the pipe. Laura Weintraub, Denise Loden, and Amy Craig. There's the Oral Authority.
From the get-go, Rory. Lips Loden, the Oral Authority, playing like they do. They have something to prove out here. They want to prove something against the Prophet.
I wonder if the Prophet's having a vision right now. He's standing next to Broadway Danny Wolf.
All right, thank you, guys. And first, it's very interesting how you have the belt with you since you never really won it. I got to ask you, what is your affiliation with the Sundogs? Why are you here with this team, Prophet?
Well, as you know, Danny, the former Sundogs manager, Leonard Logue III, has been banned permanently from this league. And our great commissioner, Kenneth Logue III, found it only fitting for me to bring my ways to an entire team to help reach and to help inspire a group as a whole.
Well, let me ask you about the Oral Authority. I'm sure you're not a fan of theirs. You'd probably want them banned from the league, wouldn't you, Prophet?
Danny, I don't want anybody banned from this league. I don't want Denise banned from this league. I want to help you. I want to help every last one of you so bad. Just let me. It may take a little extra effort, just like any project of beauty would, but let me reach inside and bring the good out, Denise. Let me bring it out.
Prophet, we, the Oral Authority, we want to walk down that righteous path with you, side by side.
You see how easy it is?
It is easy. It is. And Prophet, I want to feel your healing hand deep down inside me, Prophet. I want to feel it. I'm going to do the one thing, Prophet, that I know that I do so well. I'm going to get down on my knees, Prophet. I'm going to say, forgive me, Prophet, for being a woman.
We forgive you. We do forgive you.
Forgive me, Prophet, for needing a man. But most of all, Prophet, forgive me for what I'm about to do.
Oh, don't do it, girl!
That just deepened his voice about 3 octaves.
Shame on Lips Loden.
He had it coming. I mean that figuratively.
Here we go. Here we go.
He's not as smart as you thought he was, is he?
That was an outrage.
Amy Craig jumps out of the jam again, and I think the Prophet just learned a lesson from Lips Loden. He'll never forget it either. Meanwhile, Kenneth Lowe got a little rise out of his seat as well. Gina Lombardo and Amy Craig jamming for the Riot.
Watch the push, no, Purple. Watch the push. No.
And doing a good job as well. They're out there by themselves now.
Tighten it up. Tighten it up.
Well, you
Tighten it up.
almost forget sometimes how good a jammer Gina Lombardo is because of the other players they have on this team, but she's a star in her own right.
You're absolutely right. She gets overshadowed by the Oral Authority. Rightfully so, though, I should say, Roy.
Now, Julie Amazon back there with Janet Abraham to block, and that's a twosome, isn't it?
Boy, boy, those are some big girls out there on the track. A lot of strength right there.
Tough to get by. Logan turns around to try and knock him off the path and does knock Amazon down. That sends Belinda Morgan through there for... No, they didn't give her anything.
Yellow passed on the infield.
Passed on the infield.
Passed on the infield. Purple never passed anyone. No points.
Sean Corbin with a good ruling there.
Amazon is a scary-looking lady, Roy. She is a big girl with a lot of strength. The Riot tonight, the Riot women are going to have a tough time getting past her. Look at the strength.
Oh, man. Like we said earlier, I'd like to know more about her, where she came from, if she's skated anywhere before. We don't know anything about Julie Amazon other than that's her name, and she's wearing number 3. Denise Lawton. Oh, man. Did she take down Kathy Evangelo?
That was a vicious bulldog just in. My goodness.
Hard to believe it's still only 1-0 in this game with the Sundogs ahead. Amy Craig and Belinda Morgan once again in this final jam of the first period. I wonder what the Prophet's thinking about right now.
He's thinking how he can suspend the moral authority. I didn't want the girls to do it because I like them. But Mike, they broke the rules there, Roy. They're going to pay for it.
Oh. All right. Amy Craig slips by as Loden takes care of Belinda Morgan again. And now Craig has those 2 big ones to deal with. Amazon and Abraham. That helps. Denise Loden's having an incredible first period of action.
She is pissed off right now. Look at her.
Oh, she's done a great job. Uh-oh, now Janet Abraham's going to fight. I thought you were against this. I thought the moral authority didn't do things like this. She signed that agreement. They're just about to bend that rail all the way out of shape.
Lips is the one that instigated it.
Doesn't matter. Talk about instigating. We'll be back in a minute. We're back at the Roller Jam Arena. World Skating League action between the Sundogs and the Riot, getting ready for period number 2. And the men will be on the track. It's always a tough matchup when these 2 strong guys go at one another. For the Riot, I'm talking about Ray Robles. Chili powder in the pockets or not, that's not the only trick he knows. Robles has been around a long time, and he can be extra tough when he has his mindset to it, which he will tonight against these Sundogs and their revamped lineup, which includes the return of the previously banished Bill Barker. And we're going to find out more soon about how Barker was able to get back on this team. But there he is. When he does skate, even without the armor, you can see he's built for action and ready to go. So Robles against Barker. And Robles right now is in the infield with Broadway Danny Wolf.
All right, thank you, guys. And I got to ask you, Ray, how about these new Sundogs? How about their new outfits?
You know what, Danny? They look like a bunch of weak Power Rangers. They look like a bunch of robots that can't even skate.
And how about your skates?
What about my skates?
Well, Canine to Disable, they're laughing right now, were mocking your quads. They thought it was very funny that you're still wearing old-fashioned quad skates.
¿Qué estos cabrones creen que me van a ganar hoy en la noche? Ellos creen que necesitan patinar. He said that the Twins are a bunch of jerks. He said they couldn't skate if they tried to. Don't forget that I am the king. He said I'm the best skater there ever was and ever will be.
Take it back to Rory and Mark.
It's amazing that Ray made those comments about the king, but he always seems to do it. Now, as you can see, we've been joined in the booth by Mark's favorite king of his own, Mr. Kenneth Logue. And welcome, Mr. Logue.
Pleasure to be here, as always.
How in the world did you get Bill Barker and Janet Abraham back on this team?
Well, as you speculated earlier, Bill and Janet signed pledges committing themselves to the lifelong pursuit of honor and fair play. Rusty Montgomery, on the other hand, failed to see a need to change his ways, and he'll be missed, but he can still serve as an example for the sort of sad fate awaiting those who choose the dark side.
So I guess the lifelong pursuit of honor and fair play includes your cavorting with Amanda Hertz, that we saw the video there, your alleged affair with Lindsey Francis, and so on.
Watch it, Rory. Watch it.
Let him answer.
They're baseless charges, as I'm sure we'll all see in time.
I doubt it. Boy, Ray Robles just got taken out hard by Bill Barker. Wow. We talked about Barker and Robles, and Barker just won round 1. So did the Sundogs.
5 yellow.
What's with the armor, Kenneth?
You know, it's war out there sometimes, Rory. And I'm not just talking about the game. This is a war for the hearts and minds of America's youth. The ends justify the means.
And you know what? I agree with Kenneth 100%. This is just what the league needed, Rory. And they put on the armor. The reason being is because the other teams out there, they play not fair. They just don't play fair. You need armor to protect yourself. And by the way, Kenneth, it is an honor to meet you, sir. I really appreciate what you're doing for the WSL, and so do the fans, Rory.
You guys are out of your mind.
The armor is kind of a throwback to the Crusades, which with Richard III, the Lionhearted, going after the heathens.
Wouldn't you say it's inappropriate for the commissioner of the league to have such an interest in one particular team?
You know, the championship of this league is all about setting a good example, and these people are the best example of setting a good example I've laid my eyes upon in the World Skating League.
Oh, these two guys, known as K9 and Disabled, are the greatest example you've ever seen, huh?
Well, they're certainly tough, and like I said, it's war. You need somebody to carry the shield.
They certainly are tough. I'll give them that. This is the first time we've really seen them skate. And they're trying to get Mo Sanders through there right now. They're trying to keep Mo Sanders away, and so far they're wrecking that pack pretty well, and now they've railed Sanders. They're big. We'll give them that much.
They're bad, too. At least when it comes to skating, that's for sure.
Looks like they're pretty tough on those skates. Where'd you find those guys, Mr. Commissioner?
You know, there is a large pool of talent out there that's willing to give themselves body and soul to the cause. It's not a problem finding people willing to go to war for the World Skating League and the cause that we stand for.
The King, Richard Brown, has a little problem with him. Oh, and he just got knocked down on his back.
Good job, K9 and Disabled. Way to go. Treat the King the way he needs to be treated, like a jester.
False kings, like false prophets, go down quickly.
Speaking of false prophets, we saw one a few minutes ago getting a kiss from Denise. Now, Bill Barker's down there with Broadway Danny Wolf.
All right, thank you, Rory. And Bill Barker, I got to ask you, of all people, what do you think of the oral authority? Denise said before the game they were going to keep an eye on your every move.
Well, Danny, I'm so proud to be back on the Sundogs.
No, we're not talking about the Sundogs here, Bill. We're talking about, oh, look at them, lips, the mouth of the South, pussycat. They are hot.
Well, you know, I really think that the Prophet is going to help us in a lot of ways.
Enough with the card. Man to man, Bill. Look at these three girls. Tell me they are not hot and sexy.
Well, yeah, they look good. They look real good.
Yeah, they look good. Bill, they look good.
He's in trouble for having a mind of his own.
He doesn't know what he's saying. Bill, you signed a loyalty oath, my brother. Bill, you signed a loyalty oath to me and to your teammates.
I wonder if the prophet is crying from the blow to the
but I think that leather love slave mask has shrunk your brain.
Bill Barker committed himself to pursuing decency and honor throughout his lifetime, and I don't think that kind of an observation about those three harlots
Thanks a lot, I think, no, don't blame
stands up to that pledge.
Don't you blame Danny. Your mind's in the sewer, Bill. Your mind's in the sewer.
The prophet himself puts Barker in the cage.
Sometimes you have to set an example.
There you go, rightfully so.
Thoughts now, Bill.
Boy, you were right in his corner a minute ago.
I know what's in you, Bill.
A man needs, he broke the rules, exactly, Mark. And a man needs to do what a man needs to do.
We're all about integrity here, the moral authority. That's what the commissioner wants.
You're always a guy that pays attention to regulations, aren't you? You know what, though? The Sundogs are doing very, very well. They're leading the Riot 12-3. I think that's quite a surprise for this team.
Mo Sanders needs to prove something about Jason McDaniel, Roy.
Well, he always talks about McDaniel. It's like he can't stop thinking about him because he wants to be known as the #1 jammer in the league. And now K9 and Disabled get taken out by the King. Oh, they had it coming. They haven't seen every trick in the book until now. They just saw a good one. And look at Sanders. Wow. Razzle-dazzle through that pack. Tremendous spinning moves by Mo. Puts the Riot on the board. He still has 15 seconds left in this jam. And he gets a couple of more before he calls it off. And what a jam by Mo Sanders.
He was a human highlight film just in, Roy, doing 360 skating backwards.
Highlight film? You want to see a highlight? I'm about to show you the highlight of Bill Barker's life. The oral authority's in the cage with Barker, and he's not smart enough to enjoy it. Meanwhile, the prophet's about to break into tears. 12-8, the Sundogs lead this game. In case you're not up to date on World Skating League current events, check out Roller Jam Rewind.
This is my league, and under no circumstances will I permit a championship game to be skated this evening.
Screw Lowe. I have had an ass full of him way too many times. We're skating this game, and the title is on the line.
Nobody touches the belt until the final jam is over.
Hey, Big Nasty, how'd you like that baseball bat to the skull? Although I don't condone violence, I do believe in an eye for an eye.
Tim Washington, last time we saw you out here, Big Nasty, you were skating with a concussion.
The door opportunity only opens up one time, and tonight it is open for us, and we are taking that championship.
When there's something on the line, I'm going for it, brother or no brother.
In that first half, too bad you missed it, because there was more violence than ever.
They're on their own out there. Anybody gets hurt, that's their own fault. They're free to brutalize each other all night long, as far as I'm concerned.
Tim Washington suffered a sprained ankle, possibly fractured, but I see he's on the track.
I've been playing this game for too many years to lose it now. I know how to win a game.
The Prophet, for some reason, has chosen now to appear on the scene. I don't know why. The jam's going to go on.
Last week demonstrated only a smidgen of the power that I possess. If you wish to test me by skating in unsanctioned games, you shall pay the price.
Well, talk about having a price to pay. Some debts are not so bad, as Bill Barker has learned. Meanwhile, Kenneth Logue is screaming with jealousy.
Calm down for a second. Calm down for a second. I got to ask you about the Sundogs. This was a team you used to be the general manager of. How about their style of play? More violent than ever.
Daniel, a sin committed in the name of righteousness is no sin at all. Mr. Corbin, come here right now. I demand that you eject these three painted harlots immediately.
What painted harlot?
That oral authority, for God's sake. Rule 1 of this league deals very clearly with obscenity on this track.
Right,
Anybody committing a lewd or lascivious act on this track is to be given a game suspension and ejected immediately.
Correctly, but in order for me to penalize them, they have to meet all elements of the crime. That's not taking place on the track. That's in the cage.
The cage is the spirit of the rule, for God. Would you look at that behavior? That is exactly the kind of behavior that...
You got it. You're out of here.
You dirty old man. You can't. Kenneth Logue, I am not some piece of
You can't stick your face in her breastises like that.
My father watches this show. My father, for God's sake, watches this show. I'm his little pumpkin.
I never touch your pumpkins.
I've heard it all. I have heard it all. You're gone. You're gone. You are gone. Oh, you are the first.
You got his autograph, and a minute later he's thrown out of the game. And look at the Prophet trying to get a word in. Kenneth Logue, it's just not his day. Welcome back, baby, to the poor side of town. Meanwhile, this guy's just waiting for his day to come. Recently, Dice phenom Jason the Mac Daddy McDaniel was officially christened to the top jammer in the league.
The winner is, by a prohibitive margin, I might add, from the Nevada Hot Dice, Mr. Jason McDaniel.
Hey, all right!
This sent the Riot's Mo Sanders completely out of his mind. In his fury, Mo disconnected himself with the outside world and centered all his rage toward his arch rival, Jason McDaniel.
McDaniel, I'm going to continue to hunt you down till you give me my match race.
And ever since, the Mac Daddy has felt Mo's presence everywhere.
Come on, McDaniel. Give me my match race, McDaniel!
Primary, mailbox, 13 messages. Message 1.
Jason, where's my match race?
Wherever McDaniel steps, Mo lurks.
Message 7.
Message 8.
Message 8.
Time back, Daddy.
He has become omnipresent.
Daniel.
Message 10.
I'm in your tree. I want my message now.
Message 11.
Hey, this is Mark Willis, Jason. I think you should get more of that other mattress.
And not even the holiest of places is sacred. Why would Mo Sanders succumb to such drastic stalking tactics just to secure a match race?
Daniel, when are you gonna give me my match race?
Maybe the stakes are a bit higher than we thought. This game's no laughing matter to the king. The Sundogs lead the Riot 12-8. We'll be right back. He's a sinner just like all the rest of us. Did you see Logue put his face right into that cleavage? And then he pretended like he didn't like it. Well, Sean Corbin had seen enough and took Logue out of here.
Here we go.
Well, he broke the rules, Mark. He's gone.
Oh, give me a break, Rory. That was a mistake. They tripped him. That was a setup at its purest form just in. And I'll tell you what, you can't eject the commissioner. Corbin better be looking for a new job.
What do you mean you can't eject him? They already did. Amy Craig and Denise Loden get out on the jam now. And there's the whip for Craig and the takedown by Loden. Great play by Denise.
That's why we call Craig with the helmet Loden. That's why Craig's one of the premier jammers in the WSL, Rory.
And now Amy Craig coming up to the back of the pack, where Julie Amazon and Janet Abraham set up a double block. Loden's back there, along with Laura Weintraub, to try and help her through. Amy Craig's the only jammer here who can score points. She gets a whip, trying to get through that double block, and she did it. 2 points.
Nice play by the Oral Authority. But Roy, who's our research guy around here? We know nothing about the Amazon lady right now. Only thing we know is that she's big, strong, and powerful, and working well with Janet Abram right now.
Well, she's doing a good job. They just picked her up. Obviously, Logue, I'm sure, knows something about where she came from.
Here we go.
So does the Prophet, I'm sure, and they'll tell us when they're ready, I guess. Well, we know Amy Craig's from Fairhope, Alabama, and look at her sneak through there.
Shifty little character, that Amy Craig. The mouth of the South there, Roy.
Jam number 2 of 3 in this third period, and Denise Loden has the jammer's helmet on. Whoa, she got hip checked into that rail and goes down hard. Wow, that was a shot. Katie Cooper. And Belinda Morgan trying to keep her hair in place. I think she's wearing a wig tonight.
She is.
Completely different look for Belinda Morgan.
And she's playing like a completely different player by throwing lips over the rail.
Cooper just about slipped down and fell there. And Loden's back there to block now as these 2 jammers trying to get some points for the Sundogs, and it didn't work out, did it? They both went down as Cooper tried to whip Morgan, and Gina Lombardo goes right on by.
They goofed on the whip just then, Rory.
Lombardo trying to sneak by on top of the track. Janet Abraham takes care of her, and Belinda Morgan calls off the jam. Julie Amazon went down hard as well.
Lips loaded and say, hey, welcome to the WSL. This is what it's all about. Rough play, physical play, and win at all costs.
So Kenneth Logue tossed out of this game, probably down consulting the good book and maybe sitting in his car.
You know what? The Oral Authority is pushing the rules. I like them. She just went by and hit the Prophet on the fanny there, Rory.
I noticed that. He's going to have some good dreams tonight, better than he's ever had before. Gina Lombardo jumps out there again against Kathy Evangelo and Morgan. Amy Craig swiftly catching from behind. Such a great skating style for this girl. And the Riot have the only 2 jammers out there. Final jam of this third period. Amy Craig and Gina Lombardo talking about what they're going to do here. Try and get some points.
This is one of the lowest scoring matches I've ever seen, Rory.
Lombardo and Craig reach the back of the pack. Julie Amazon and Janet Abraham again. Back there to double block. Now Loden puts a shot into the shoulder of Amazon. Oh! Whoa! Loden came flying as Laura Weintraub set it up.
explosive power with a capital P just in. Man, look at the queen out there.
Take a look at that. She just comes flying out of the rafters, it seems. Weintraub led him to the slaughter. Lombardo and Craig go by on top to get the points, and Loden got the double kill. Great play by Denise. The Riot men ready to get going here into the final period, and now Broadway Danny Wolf is with Brian Gamble of the Riot.
Thank you, and Aaron Ninja, one big period coming up for the men now, the last period of the game, and that means one last chance for you to get your hands on K9 and Disable.
And K9 and Disable, that's good. You know what, Broadway, let me tell you about those punks. Those guys cannot skate. They can't fight. The only skating gig those two skinny punks should be able to land should be a double mint roller derby commercial. You guys look like a couple of silly little freaks, and let me tell you what, they definitely can't fight. And I'll tell you what, if they do try, Broadway, Blade Gamble, the Bruce Lee of the bank track, will beat them into submission like a couple of rented circus monkeys.
Good luck, Brian. Back to you, Roy.
Thanks, Danny. I didn't know that you could rent monkeys. Brian Gamble knew all about it, and they're ready to go as we're going to have the final period coming up. We'll be back in a minute. Well, the crowd's into this game between the Riot and the Sundogs. Final period about to begin. 3 jams left to go, and the men are on the track to decide things, including K9 and Disable and Bill Barker, who's back out of that cage. He had a good time while he was in there, though.
Yeah, that's for sure. I know. I was looking at you, Roy. You'd love to have been in that cage. Hell, I would have loved to have been in the cage.
Let's take a chance in the cage, you bet. There goes Christian Salvia. He's a good jammer, I'll tell you. He's small, but he's fast and quick. And look what he has waiting for him. K9 and Disable back there in the back of the pack. That's K9 with the long, shaggy hair, and Salvia.
Come on, Christian!
3 of him doesn't add up to the same weight as these 2 twins.
Come on, Ray!
But he's quick. He's nifty on his skates. Let's see if he can figure out some way to get by.
And they already might be the best 1-2 combination in the league already. Well, I'm ready to state that right now.
You're nuts. All right, Salvia dives over the top, and Gamble took him out. You forgot about D'Amato and Washington, among others. They have a ways to go before they're there, and now they're trying to beat on Brian Gamble, who just took him out in that play.
Gamble challenged their manhood right before this play. Now he's paying for it, Roy.
2-on-1, that's not quite fair.
They stick together. What's wrong with that?
Let's go, everybody.
But guess who made the big play on the track? Brian Gamble.
Let's go. Get in the cage, a bunch of freaks. Take your Bibles and your prophet. Let's go. Okay. Get in
Into
there.
the cage with him. Into the cage they go. Look at this guy.
It's about time Corbin started doing his job.
No.
That's the Prophet. He's the new manager of this team. The Riot have the lead, and Mo Sanders jumps out there against Sigmund Williams. Here's 2 great jammers for you. Williams, with those long strides, has tremendous speed, and Sanders, as you already know, is a great jammer, and he jumps out there after taking care of Sigmund Williams.
We'll see if he can. Their team's in the lead right now. We'll see if he can add on some points and try to put this one away.
Boy, I think he goes home every night and thinks about Jason McDaniel and how he can convince people that he's the better jammer. Better than anybody in his own book, anyway.
Well, he wants that jammer's belt right now. McDaniel holds it, rightfully so, though, too, Roy.
Robles has a head of steam up. Robles into the back of Barker with a tremendous hip check. What a play by Robles. That frees Sanders up to go on through and get some points. And Mo's going inside him and outside him, up and down, high and low on the track. He picked up a whole bunch of them.
Man, Mo Sanders. I wonder if he might be better than Jason McDaniel. He's playing like it tonight. That guy has a chip on his shoulder tonight, Roy.
Boy, look at that play by Robles. He sacrifices his body every time he comes out here. Made the great block, and that freed Sanders to do his stuff. And now Mo is down there with Broadway.
And Mo, that was an amazing last jam. The razzle-dazzle was second to none. You couldn't be skating any better.
Danny, I tried to tell you before. This year, I am on the mission to be known as the fastest and the best jammer in the WSL. That is one of the reasons why I should be holding the belt, not Jason McDaniel.
Well, Jason McDaniel's not issued the challenge to you yet. I know you've been after him, but it looks like he, I don't want to say ducking you, but so far he hasn't given you the chance.
Look, he's been dodging me for a while, and that's one of the reasons why everything this season goes through Mo Sanders, and I am going for the gold.
There's Jason McDaniel right there on the edge.
Sanders. I'm here to clear something up, all right? You say that I've been dodging your challenge for a match race. You say that you're the best jammer in the league and that I'm not, knowing all well that you've never beat me at anything, let alone what I do best. I'm here to challenge you to a match race. That's how it's gonna go. Ooh. Now, we're gonna do this match race. I win, I keep the belt, and you stay away from my sister. You win, you get the belt, which you've always wanted, and if you're lucky, I'll throw in a little toothbrush for you. You can clean up them nasty ass stank teeth and fix that gingivitis gum problem you got. I might even throw in an owner's manual and some instructions on how to use it. Now, what do you say?
You know what? I'm accepting your challenge because I've been hunting you down for the longest. We're gonna do this, and you're gonna find out how I do it, Mo's way. Everything goes through Mo Sanders this season.
The challenge has been issued and accepted, and that's the last time you'll ever see those two guys shake hands, I guarantee you.
Can I get some support?
They both have a lot of support in this building. Wow, I can't wait for that match race. Welcome back, everybody, and look what has happened. Jason McDaniel is willing to put that belt on the line against Mo Sanders, and they even shook hands on it.
Here we go.
That might be the last time you see those two guys shake hands, because that Jammer's belt's going to go to one or the other.
Boy, you can't miss that matchup, Roy. That is going to be something else, especially the way Mo Sanders is skating tonight. Boy, he's looking good.
He's flying, too. He just flew over the rail. As K9 and Disable on this final jam of the game are keeping Christian Salvi at bay as well. It's 22-13, the Riot in the lead, but the Sundogs have a chance to win it. In the debut of these two guys on skates. K9 and Disable coming up to the back of the pack with the game, and the championship belt's on the line, and they go over the top. They didn't even have to use their muscle. They called off the jam. They got enough points, and the Prophet has won his first game as manager.
What a play by K9 and Disable. Did you see the air they caught? Holy cow, they leaped over everybody just in to retain the title.
The title that they didn't even win on the track, the title they stole basically with the Prophet taking the belt. The Prophet was able to win in his first game as manager. Well, we'll give him that. I hate to give this group of dog pound rejects any credit whatsoever, but I think we have to tonight. They did win this game, but don't worry, someday it'll all come back on them. I just have a feeling that's what's going to happen. Thank you for being with us tonight. We'll see you next time.